Hey, it's Rachel Cooke, your modern mentor. I'm the founder of Lead Above Noise, a firm specializing in helping teams and organizations create better working experiences that deliver better results. So, how are you doing these days? Let me guess, you're busy, right? We are all always so darn busy, wondering how to whittle down our to-do lists and just get some more done. I have some tough love to deliver today. You may be procrastinating. I don't mean falling down social media rabbit holes procrastinating, but a more secret, invisible to the naked eye kind of procrastinating. It's disguised as something else. I see it all the time, sometimes even when I look in the mirror. So let's talk about some of these super secret procrastination traps you might be falling into. And let's talk about how you can climb out. The first one is called procrastinating. Have you ever heard of this one? Is it a made-up word? I assume so, but it really is happening on the regular. I am super guilty of this one. It's when we start to spend so much time learning something new that we forget or we put off the actual doing of the thing. For some, it's going down a rabbit hole like TED Talks. I just need to watch one more. For others, it might be pursuing a certification. I couldn't possibly do the thing until I'm fully certified. Or it may be just reading one more book, listening to one more podcast, or getting just one more expert opinion. Learning is this virtuous thing. Nothing like doom scrolling or watching endless IG reels. Learning is always a good thing, right? And yet the truth is, not always. Learning is wonderful, but it should be serving a purpose. You, and yes, I, have to be disciplined about saying, okay, I've learned enough to just get started. I have enough info to take the first steps. Now it's time to shift into doing mode. You can always return to learning later, but one great place to reclaim productivity is by putting boundaries on your learning. The next one is saying yes to all the meetings. This is another one I see. I know your calendar is full of meetings, so how could you possibly get another thing done? But here's the thing. We owe it to ourselves and to our teams and our customers to be discerning about which meetings we attend, because not every invite is a thoughtful or strategic one. We all need to be more fearless in this way. I'm not suggesting you just hit decline and run, but a clear and simple message to the host, like, hey, my top priority is X other project right now, or, you know what, Jake from my team will be there and can provide the updates, or I'm not able to attend, but let me know if there's an ask of me, will often do the trick. And if yours is a culture in which a decline doesn't feel safe, then start by just planting the seed with your boss. Saying something like, given all I need to deliver by next month, I wonder if we could look at my schedule together and determine whether all the meetings on there make sense for me to attend. It may start with just skipping one meeting, just 1 hour of your time back, but prove how much more useful you can make that time, and soon you'll be declining with confidence. The next one is just one more edit. This is a painful one. Most of us need to be better about declaring something is finished, or at least good enough, and hitting send. Editing, revising, polishing, these are useful to a point. But unchecked, these become mechanisms for procrastination. Working on something client-facing, a proposal, a newsletter, give that one extra attention. But a rough draft for your boss, an email to your team, an internal dashboard, I'm not suggesting you be careless or sloppy, but do a draft, polish it once, and hit send with an acknowledgement that it may still be in draft form. We can spend ages rereading, reformatting, playing with different views, when really what we need to do is hit send and move on. The next one, starting from scratch. This is another huge time suck. Because if we're putting something out there, we want it to feel like our own. But whatever the thing is that you need to do, start by asking yourself, is there something already out there I can repurpose rather than starting from scratch? Whatever you need to deliver, the customer report, the inventory plan, the patient survey results, where is there a template you can use to just get started? Ultimately, you get more extra points for speed and efficiency than you do for building that thing on your own. And finally, rallying support. When you know you need to just pitch the idea or suggest the process change or ask the big scary question, but you want to make sure you have support behind you, like all the support. Ask yourself, how many and which voices do I really need in my corner? My client, Jesse, has been struggling with this one. He runs an internal consulting team for his company, and he has this idea to reinvent how they run their engagements. Actually, he first had this idea 6 months ago, and since then, he's been running it by his colleagues for support. He has run it by 17 of them so far. In our last call, I finally had to hit him with some tough love. Jesse, I said, the first 5 people you spoke to loved your idea. The last 12 have been nothing but procrastination. You have to pitch it now. Have you been there? And there you have it. So if you're wondering where all that time is going, how you're always so busy, and yet the big things aren't getting done, maybe you found a spot of insight in this episode. Join me next week for another great episode. Until then, visit my website at leadabovenoise.com if your organization is looking to dial up its employee experience or bring in some leadership development that activates change. You can follow Modern Mentor on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Find and follow me on LinkedIn. Thanks so much for listening and have a successful week. Modern Mentor is a quick and dirty tips podcast. It's audio engineered by Dan Fauerbend with script editing by Adam Cecil. Our podcast and advertising operations specialist is Morgan Christensen. Our digital operations specialist is Holly Hutchings. And our marketing and publicity associate is Davina Tomlin.